The report delivered to the National Assembly detailed oversight visits conducted between May and August 2022 across the Kunene, Ohangwena, Umsati, Oshana, Zambezi and Ochezonjupa regions. It highlights both the achievements and challenges faced in implementing the Community Codes Act of 2003.
The report provides a synopsis of the achievements, constraints and challenges faced by the traditional authorities with the implementation and enforcement of the Community Codes Act, and further reveals some teething problems that the Ministry of Justice, more especially the Division Community Codes, traditional authorities and Community Code officials are faced with. The good news comprises of the following. Most community courts gradually achieving their mandate because the community courts they serve are satisfied with the operation of community courts and they make optimal use of these courts. In some areas, it is the preferred dispute resolution mechanism because there is some form of compensation for the plaintiff. In some areas, it is the preferred dispute resolution mechanism as the complainant could be rewarded in kind for damages or harm caused to him or to her. Community courts serve as an important function and role in the country, play an important role in the country, similar to the common law courts and statutory bodies in government. Furthermore, community courts have an important national function to encourage peaceful communities through reducing crime. The Standing Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs observed that it is the view of this committee that the services provided by community courts could be compared to other statutory bodies in the country. Therefore, downgrading community courts negatively impact on administration of justice as contemplated in Chapter 9 of the Constitution and administrative justice under Article 18 of the Constitution. The perception that the powers and functions of traditional authorities were taken over by the Community Codes Act is real and a matter of concern to the Standing Committee. The committee observes that if minor disputes and petty cases should be arbitrated at village level by headmen, expenses with respect to the travel costs, subsistence and accommodation by committee members will be considerably reduced.
The report underscores the importance of continued support and development for community courts to ensure they can effectively contribute to the justice system in Namibia. Karondo emphasized the critical role of parliamentary committees in providing oversight of public policies, legislation and government activities.
The Standing Committee recommends that the Minister of Justice must expedite the tabling of the amended or repealed Community Courts Bill in the National Assembly. When drafting the new bill, the Ministry should have due consideration for the inclusion of previous findings and recommendations by the predecessor committee of the 6th National Assembly. The findings and recommendations contained in this report and the High Court judgment in the Hiskia case is but one particular example. The Minister of Justice must act upon the findings and observations based on the weaknesses, shortcomings and challenges of the community court system. There is a recommendation that the Community Courts Act should result under the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, under which the traditional authorities also resort for effectiveness in traditional affairs. The Ministry of Justice, Minister of Urban and Rural Development, and the Council of Traditional Leaders must consider the implementation of this recommendation. The committee further recommends that the Minister of Justice must implement the recommendation 6.4a to 1 listed in the report. because this report is available on Telegram. For those who might not know, you might log in there to see what I'm referring to here. The Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, and the Minister of Justice must review the Police Act, Act 19 of 1990, and the Community Courts Act to formalize the provision of police services and assistance, including court orderly services by the Namibian police to the community courts in Namibia, the same way as it's done at the magistrate courts and superior courts.
Recommendations include increased funding, enhanced training programs for court officials, and better collaboration between the Ministry of Justice and traditional authorities. Serafia Nadunya, NBC News, Parliament.